Do you think Ziyad Zolkefli really deserved for his gold medal? Watch for my video till the end. You will know the results. Hi guys, this is Forza Maya. It's a pleasure to see you in my next video. Alright, so as the previous videos are in line with the Tokyo Olympics, so today I'm also going to speak about the Tokyo Olympics, but this time it's on Paralympics, right? Or the hot issue which is going on now, which is on Ziyad Zolkefli's gold medal, right? So before I move on, with the results, or to say whose fault is it, or I'm not here to be a judge to say whose fault is that, okay, or finding fault, but I'm here to actually first explain what happened, and then I'll tell you what is the actual criteria or actual method should be. All right. So here's what happened. Ziyad Zolkefli is a Malaysian athlete, of course. He's taking part in the shot put, okay, under the T20 category. Right. So for those who doesn't know what is T20, or another word is F20, it's a category under the Paralympics committee which they categorize that as for intellectually impaired. Okay, so basically intellectually impaired means your IQ level is basically lower compared to an average human being. Your IQ level is basically lower, right? So how do you determine all that? I will probably make another video on that. Okay, let's not dwell into that. Okay, let's just focus on this issue now. So what happened here was 2 days ago, which was the finals of a shot put. So Ziyad Zolkefli took part, and this Ukraine athlete actually protested, and he protested not only on Ziyad Zolkefli, also on the Ecuador athlete and another Australian athlete. So there were three of them. They protested, and of course they won the protest, and of course Ukraine won the gold medal. Okay, but nevertheless these three athletes, the Malaysian athlete Ziyad Zolkefli, and the Australian athlete, and also Ecuador athlete, they took part. So they did perform their throws, and of course Ziyad Zolkefli, when he threw the first throw itself, was a record, world record. Okay, so he got it. Now what happened was, when Ziyad Zolkefli went to the call room, okay, so you have to take note that before an athlete goes to the track or goes to the field to perform his event or to take part in his event, he needs to go to the call room, okay, or a place where you report, okay. And so what happened was, he went there, he reported, but he reported like 2 minutes late. Some say 5 minutes, some say 2 minutes, so it's between that. It's very minor, okay, 2 to 5 minutes, okay. So only when you report, then of course the official will bring you to the place. So when he reported, of course he was a bit late, and when he reported late together with the other two athletes, okay, so the thing was, the Ecuador coach or the manager, not the Ecuador, sorry, the Ukraine coach or the manager, they saw, and of course they protested, how can you take them in? Okay, so that was one. And why these people were late was because they were actually performing warm-up. Okay, so by the time they got into the call room, but the problem is, when you got into the call room, you need to go to the table, okay, where the officials are sitting and report yourself. So when they got to the particular table, to the officer, it was only 2 to 5 minutes late. Okay, so it's not that they were late to that location, no. So of course when I was looking at some other news, they were saying there were traffic jam, it was raining. These guys basically were warming up, okay, and of course it was raining, so that actually hindered them to come to the location fast, okay, or in an effective manner, so they took some time, okay. So but nevertheless they were still there around that area. So if you're in Malaysia, especially if you're in Bukit Jalil Stadium, the main stadium, so probably usually athletes will go and train or warm up, do their warm up at the MSN stadium, the practice stadium, which is probably walking distance, right? So of course, let's say if it rains, it may take you some time for you to get into the main stadium. When it rains, you need to get an umbrella, or you need to get a shade, walk through there, all that. So that was the thing. Now, of course, some of the news was saying it was traffic jam and stuff, but actually it's not really on the traffic jam, it was mainly on the human traffic, okay, because as you know, the athletics it's not only one event will be taking part. I mean, going around. The thing is that you will have two events at least will be happening at the same time. Okay, let's say there's 100 meters going taking place one time. At the field you will have maybe javelin. Okay, that's one. On the other side you may have high jump or pole vault on the other corner. So you may have three events going at the same time. One track and two field events, or usually it's one track and one field. That's common. Okay, this is so that you can finish the events in the particular time, right, or particular scheduled days. Okay. So of course, when Ziyad Zolkefli was late, he reported, and of course the Ukraine manager protested. But the officials, what they said was, fine, you have been protested, but the athletes can still take part. At least for fun, you can still take part. So we are not going to stop you from taking part. You can still go and take part. You can still perform your throw. Okay, so you can do that. So that's why these athletes did that. They threw, and of course everything was fine. And of course after that, the results came out that it's not that Ziyad Zolkefli was disqualified. They categorized him as did not start. Okay, so let's assume you're taking part in an event, you couldn't make it to the event. They won't put that disqualified. They will put that did not start. Okay, so there's these three categories. There's did not start is one, where you couldn't start. Basically, you didn't go there, to the location or to the starting line or starting block. Okay, that is one. The second is disqualified. Either you went against the border, okay, or you go against other people's line, okay, especially when you're running on the track, okay, 100 meters, 200 meters. Or let's say if you are going on hurdles, you pushed like 3 to 4 hurdles, okay, you knocked off, it fall down, okay, or you pushed the hurdle itself, you'll be disqualified. Okay, so that is DQ. So you will have D and S, did not start. You'll also have a DQ, okay, disqualified. Another one is did not finish. Did not finish means basically, let's say you are doing 1,500 meters, came 1,000 meters, suddenly you had a hamstring, right, or a muscle pull, you couldn't carry on with the race. So that's why you stop there, you get medical assistance and stuff. So basically you did not finish. So D and F. Okay, so you have these three categories. So you may be wondering why they put Ziyad Zolkefli or categorize Ziyad Zolkefli's participation under D and S when he actually really go to the field and he threw the shot put. He created a world record. Okay, so it's amazing, right? The thing here is the rule says once you're not at the call room within the stipulated time frame, you are not allowed to start the event, or you're not allowed to take part in the event. Okay, so you see, it's not that they are going to stop you from taking part, going to the field. It's basically deemed as you're not there, you're absent. Okay, so even if you're late, you're absent. All right, so that's what happened. So of course the Ukraine manager, he will follow the compliance rules. The rule says that you follow, so that's why he protested, and of course he won the protest. So that's why they categorized him as D and S, did not start. It's not only him, it's the same goes to Australian and the Ecuador. Okay, actually 3 of them, right? So of course the Ukrainian won. Okay, so the thing is that people were, immediately people were condemning on the officials. Okay, so you were biased. Okay, that was one. The other people condemned or the other person who was the victim was the Ukraine athlete and the team manager. They were condemning him, saying that it's because of you Malaysia lost the gold medal. All right. The thing is that the Ukraine athlete made it on time. Okay, and the Ukraine manager, of course, you may feel he may have some hidden agenda or what, but the thing is that he told them to follow the rules. That's why he protested. Okay, so imagine if you're taking part in an event and the judge did not follow the rules, of course you will also protest, right? So the same thing here. Of course you may say it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, it may be immaterial for you, but in an athlete, in an event or a competition, especially at an Olympics international event, these minor things has to be taken into account. So imagine if a 100-meter runner, like a Sherika Jackson or Mary Ann Fraser, okay, or Shirley Ann Fraser, sorry, okay, or Ellen Thompson, they ran 0.01 seconds slower. It could have cost them a medal, right? So it's the same thing here. You may say, just say 0.01 second, but it's still a medal, right? It's still a timing. So that's what happened. So in this case, let me share you with my experience, all right? There were once, during my first year in my university, Okay, so the event supposed to start at 7:30. Okay, so we were at our hostel and we were supposed to go to Bukit Jalil, okay, for the event. Alright, so what happened here was the van from my hostel supposed to leave at 6:30. So at 7 we would be there. Okay, so I'll have like probably half an hour, and it was a 10-kilometer walk event. So then the reporting time was until 7:15. Okay, so the thing is that the driver, I don't know whose fault is that. Of course, the driver took the van only at 7. We reached there at 7:45. Okay, so of course, the event started when I went to the track straight. The event started. Okay, so I told the official, can I just continue the event? The official said, no, you can't, because you didn't report, first of all. Okay, and they were kind enough. They supposed to start the event at 7:30. They waited actually for me until 7:45. Usually the officials won't do that. Okay, so they actually waited. So they were already kind enough. So they said, sorry, we will classify as did not start. Okay, so because let's say if you didn't come for the event and you reported but did not take part, then you'll be disqualified. Okay, you cannot take part in the future events, but in this case they classify me as did not start. Okay, so that was fine. So it means I can take part in other upcoming events, right? So it means since then I told myself, whatever happens, I will be there at the location at least 3 hours before the event. Okay, and as per the rule, usually if let's say the event is starting at 3 o'clock, okay, afternoon, you must report at least latest half an hour before the event. Okay, usually it's half an hour, sometimes 1 hour. Okay, so let's say if it's half an hour, you must report by 2:30, but the time frame they give you is usually 1.5 hours. It means you can report starting from 1 to 2:30. Okay, so you will have 1.5 hours to report. The reason why they give so much of a time frame, because let's say you're taking part in 100 meters. Okay, before you could have been another event. Alright, so when there's another event happening, alright, the thing here is there could be a lot of athletes coming and reporting, so there would be like a human traffic, I would say. There'll be a lot of people queuing up and stuff, so just to give adequate time. And there would be other events, as I said, there'll be 100 meters, there'll be shot put, a few events taking at the same time, and so there'll be a lot of athletes. So imagine there'll be like 40-50 athletes coming reporting at the same time. So that's one of the issues. So that's why they give you like 1.5 hours. So if you can't make it at 1, at least you can make it at 1:30, 1:45. So you have that 1.5 hours, which is adequate. If you ask me, is adequate. And once you reported, you can actually do your warm-up around that area. So it's not that you must go somewhere else to do your warm-up. So you can still do with your warm-up around that area. So it is still fine. And usually that's all I'll do. So I'll go like 3 hours before, 4 hours before, and do my warm-up, and I'm peace. I'm just get into the mood and stuff. And of course I go and report myself and just hang around that area, do my warm-up, stretching and stuff. Okay, so I don't know what happened in this situation. Maybe they say it's because of rain and stuff. Okay, so they had to go to another location to do warm-up. Okay, and the thing apart from that is, it is T20 event or F20, okay, which is, as I say, intellectually you're impaired. So when you're intellectually impaired, of course, as a normal human being, you will go on your own self and report, okay? You don't need a coach or a manager. But when you're in Paralympics, when you are in a situation where you need assistance, because these people are intellectually impaired, so of course a manager or a coach must be there. So the athlete would not know that they must go half an hour before, 1 hour before, to report. It has to be the manager or the official has to be there, with the athlete. So the question here is, of course, what happened to the official? So that is one thing. And the next thing is, that there is an event. Why don't you go there early? Alright, that's one. And once you go there early, why don't you report and then you continue with your warm-up and stuff? So that's also another question to ponder, or something to ponder off. Alright, so this is what actually happened. So end of the day, of course, the Malaysian Paralympic Committee and the Chef de Mission, they appealed, okay? But the thing is that they didn't protest, they appealed. So of course the appeal was turned down because it was clear cut. You are delayed by 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. So they can't do anything, Okay, so even if you have seen Olympics, it happens to the same. Even Usain Bolt. Okay, for 100 meters, let's say you do one false start, everyone will get a warning. The second person who does a false start, that person is off. It happened to Usain Bolt in 2011. All right, even Linford Christie in 1992 Olympics got also disqualified. So it's the same. So they are strict. They have to follow by the rules. Okay, so but when they give flexibility, they left flexibility. So in this case, the officials were kind enough to allow you to take part in the event. Okay, or some officials will be strict. Sorry, we can't allow you, like what happened to me in the universities, right? They won't allow you to take part. But in this case, the officials were good enough for them to allow Ziyad to take part. And the good thing about Ziyad was he was mentally strong. You know, despite all these challenges, he still went to the field and still performed the throw to his best, level best, and created the record. So that was fantastic. Right. So now, you know, rather than putting the blame on someone, I even heard that the Ukrainians' Instagram account or Twitter account got hacked and being bombarded with messages. So let's not, you know, being one-sided. So let's think of the holistic event. All right. So the thing is that you need to know what really happened, you know, and what are the rules, okay, and the compliance procedures, right? So as an athlete, we need to be responsible, of course, but of course in Paralympics, apart from the athlete, the officials also has to be taking into responsible, either the charity mission, or your manager, your coach, especially the manager and coach, because they will be there, okay, to actually witness, watch, and perform all those tasks and stuff, okay. So this is what I felt. Okay, so just to share, because I've been, you know, representing state before, so I know how it looks like, you know, especially for a track or a field event, you know, what are the procedures and stuff. Okay, so it's crucial, okay, for you to know your compliance and rules and stuff. All right, so with that, I shall see you in my next video. Take care.